Today we're talking about the 2022, yeah, that's the year, Pinocchio movie. This movie broke me. And there is another Pinocchio movie coming out, but this is the Disney version because this is straight out of home video. And I'm Candace. And with me is Krista, who I made watch this movie, and I apologize. So Geppetto has a backstory kind of now. He had a wife, he had a son also.
Both are dead.
Both are dead, which is just
Sad.
like Krista and I were talking before when we were watching. I'm like, I don't know if this makes it better or worse that he was making a little boy puppet.
It makes sense, but it doesn't seem like the best coping mechanism because it's you trying to remake your dead son. But it's more understandable of why he's like yearning for the son so much.
Yeah. And he doesn't name him the same thing. Like
True.
Pinocchio is because he's made a
Pine Oak EO. It hurt. It
uh,
hurt.
also speaking of Geppetto and his creations, whole thing is he's like a clockmaker, but he doesn't sell any of his cuckoo clocks, which makes no sense. Why are you
Well,
making them?
because his dead wife loved them so much that he won't sell them now. But I'm like, how are you making money to support you and your little boy puppet now? And he has a cat and he has a little fish that he
Who
needs to
has
support.
eyelashes? Cleo the fish, golden. Oh god, the CGI. I don't like insulting CGI when you find out like how much the artists go through and how underpaid and overworked they are.
I don't know. Overall, the visuals didn't annoy me as much as they have in a lot of other
The
movies.
past.
So that honestly wasn't like the worst thing for me. I do want to say that I'm looking through my notes I wrote for this. And Candace, 10 minutes into this movie, I'm going to quote you as saying, kids will be bored by now.
I was looking online, I was like trying to see other people's opinions, and yeah, everyone's like, this is the worst. This misses what the original is all about, which I completely agree. Pinocchio doesn't make many mistakes. If you think about it, he goes to school. He gets kicked out because Geppetto didn't warn anyone that this walking, talking puppet's going to school.
Everybody has to register their kid at school. Just
Yeah,
because he's a puppet doesn't mean you don't have to. It means you
yeah,
really need to, otherwise people are going to be freaked out.
yeah. So Pinocchio in the original, he doesn't make it to school. He goes with Honest John. He has a choice, school or Honest John. He chooses Honest John. In this one, he doesn't really have a choice. He has
Mm.
nothing else to do.
And he wants to make his father proud of him.
I want to talk about the ending. And I don't want to.
But we should. That's why we're here.
Yeah. So the ending, Geppetto seems like he's dead and Pinocchio is sad. And he's like, come on, father, wake up, or something like that. He wakes up and Jiminy does a little narrating again and is like, that's the story of Pinocchio. Some say he became a real boy, but we don't actually see that.
There's this weird moment where second before the scene ends, they walk off and I'm like, wait, did his skin
Yeah.
just turn into like real skin? But like I wasn't quite sure. So I don't know if they're implying he did or if they're leaving it up in the air where it like kind of looks like maybe it happened.
Yeah, because I saw the screen cap because I looked at it too. I was like, wait, what was that? What was that? Geppetto says something. He's like, oh, I shouldn't have wished you to be something you aren't, kind of thing. And you wouldn't have been able to do all that if you were a real boy.
So then that makes me think they didn't change him into a real boy. And then I had a friend who also watched this movie, also found it incredibly boring and Tom Hanks having a terrible, terrible movie for once. And she didn't see anything that looked like he changed to a real boy at the end. So,
It feels weird. This is what Pinocchio wants.
and why would the Blue Fairy have this whole thing about you have to learn these lessons, which he does to do this, if it wasn't going to happen? Or have him seem like he chooses it. You know what? I'm happy as I am. My dad loves me. And have more of him accepting it, like as a kind of self-realization thing.
Yeah, if they explain that further instead of Geppetto being like, oh, I shouldn't have wished you were something else. And Pinocchio being like, yeah, you're right. You know what? I like who I am.
Yeah, exactly. Make the lesson full.
Yeah, make it super sappy, like a maple tree. No.
Oh no.
I was waiting for some. I'm trying to make some wood puns.
Candace. We already had to put up with Pine Oak EO.
Oh gosh. I've seen most all of the live action remakes, all of them. I feel like this is even worse than Lion King.
I didn't watch Lion King, I'll be honest, because I love the original so much. But at least I felt like the animation in Lion King was probably better, right?
Yeah, no, the CGI was awesome, and it was interesting to look at least.
Yeah, it looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it just didn't do anything new, just like this
Mhm.
didn't do anything new. Except this one ruined the moral of the story, or just didn't have one. Or if it had one, it got lost in all of that. I don't know what the point they were trying to make. And if we can't figure out what the point they were trying to make, how is a child supposed to?